All right. Let's do this, huh? Let's just get it. Let's go. Let's get it. All right. 3, 2, 1. Yo. Heartbreaking loss. The Razorbacks lose in a so many mixed emotions through this game. Holy crap. So many mixed emotions. I mean, it felt like, once again, Arkansas, maybe they're going to get some control there a little bit early on. They led throughout most of the first half by a small margin. Arkansas's defense really came out looking wonderful, thinking, oh, my God, if they could hold on to this. And, of course, eventually things just got a little worn out. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to react together. We're going to go through this a little bit. And Monday we will have our post our Monday show, the Monday after live show. And okay. Make sure again, if you're new here, you subscribe. I know there's a lot of people who watch outside of YouTube. You just click the link. You don't really have a YouTube account, but you just watch. I'm seeing on my analytics there's a lot of that. So hey, if you would make an account, consider subscribing to your boy on YouTube. Also, special shout out to Patreon supporters. This isn't possible without you guys, whether you're $4 donors, $8, or the $20 legendary status, whatever. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And we'll go ahead and get sponsor stuff. Also, we'll get that out of the way really quick. Odd Soul Craft Bar and Pizzaria, located here in downtown Springdale on Emma Street. A lot happening on Emma Street, guys. It's not just for your auntie and your grandma and Gram, okay? Emma Street's trying to grow up a little bit, and the Odd Soul is a fantastic place to go spend some time if you've got a little bit of time to spend. Great pies and wonderful IPAs. Their link is provided for you down below. And, of course, the OG sponsors, the first sponsors of this show, and they're still here, Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. They operate out of Central Arkansas and Northwest Arkansas. Hundreds of 5-star reviews, better than best results. Give them a call today at 501-244-3667. Again, their link is also provided for you down below. What a game, though. What a game. Look, I know there's a lot of reactions. I know that there's the fanatical side of this that we want to just rip our hair out. I get it. Another game decided by 3 points or less, or 3 points, right? 4 straight years now. Is that right? 4 straight years this game has come down to just 3 points. I want to know what the hell's up with your timeout management. Why did you burn 2 timeouts in the third quarter? Why did you do it? Why did you burn your timeout so quickly? Now, I'm going to have to rewatch on tomorrow, figure out what exactly they saw. I think there was maybe a 3rd and long scenario, or maybe they burned their timeout because they'd been beaten on a prior 3rd down. Maybe that was in the first half. I don't know. The emotions are running so high in this one, you kind of get things jumbled around. Joey Rogers, I appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. Yeah, super chats, I'm batting like 950 on. I'm batting pretty good on super chats. So if you want your comment read, if you have any questions or comments, whatever, you want them to be heard, let me know. The Don't Read the Comments podcast, shout out to those guys. They did a whole live during the game. I was in there for a little bit. Always a good time watching those guys. We might have to work something out next weekend. I may do something like that with them next weekend. Penalties and poor clock management is what they had to say. I think that's very spot on. Very spot on. I don't know what the hell they were doing with those timeouts. There's got to be better clock management. 14 penalties last weekend for 125 yards. This week, 11 penalties, substantially less yardage, but still 11 penalties. I want to refresh this because I thought that was 12. No, it's 11 for 69, 2 turnovers. Once again, you just let LSU slip through your fingers. You let LSU slip through your fingers. Now, if you're going to ask, Ty, who's really the better team, I still think LSU's the better team, but it feels like they kind of they had to sneak out of their own stadium. They had to sneak out of one of the loudest, most dangerous environments in college football out of their own stadium just to beat Arkansas by a field goal. Also, why didn't you just let them score? Why not give yourself? You could have given yourself $120. You could have had 1:20 on the clock and do something maybe later on. I don't know what they were thinking. Let them score. And I know there's some people who don't like that mentality. Well, you're kind of giving up. No, if they score, you get an opportunity to score and you get a chance to do something. Instead of what we saw transpire, you would have had a little bit more time. We would have seen KJ. Of course, was that last play a pick? I was setting up the live. Did it count as it was? It was a pick. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, you would have given yourself a little bit more time on that final drive to maybe push this thing into either overtime or whatever. I don't know what they were. I don't know, man. Clock management was poor. But, listen, I picked LSU to cover. I said LSU was going to win by 20. I said LSU was going to win this thing by 20. And they had to sneak out of their own stadium to beat Arkansas. Let me get caught up on comments here really fast. That first down by Fletcher was a thing of beauty. That was fantastic. I hate how it always seems like they do something awesome like that where they fake a field goal or a punt or whatever. It feels like they still lose those games. Am I the only one? Like going back to last year or over the course of the last 5 or 6 years, going back to Bielema, it feels like even when they do those, they still lose. They still find ways to lose these games. It's big. Oh, what's up, man? It's big, homie. I don't know if that's supposed to be big Jada, homie. Y'all fought hard, man. Good game. It was a very good game. It was a very good game. And like I said, I would still say LSU is the better team between the two. But maybe we saw something transpire tonight. Maybe that BYU game was a wake-up call. Once again, we're sitting here going, man, had they not take away a turnover, take away 2 or 3 penalties, maybe Arkansas actually does win this very good ball game. Maybe they find a way to win this game. Hell, they almost did it with those penalties and with the turnovers. Eno's called a great game. I don't care, and I agree. Smock Shorts, I agree. I thought that was a very well called game. I just think it was. It wasn't perfect. No, I mean, I know some people were complaining about the tight end, that little tight end, whatever that was, that little quick pass. I thought, listen, they're trying to get They're trying to get Luke Hasz involved. They were clearly he was more in the game plan this week, and look how it turned out for you. Look how it turned out for the Razorbacks. It actually was a good call. It just LSU beat you to it. They saw it coming. I mean, that's just part of it, and that's not something. I don't think they've done that to him to Hasz. I know they've done that play before, just not with with different personnel. We got more super chats rolling in. Yo, what it be? What's up, Thomas? How you doing, man? Love my Hogs. They played a hell of a game. This was more over than anything. The non-calls, holding, face mask, horse collar, shoving KJ down when he was trying to get back up. Tell me if that was Arkansas, they wouldn't get hit with a flag. Taunting. I mean, the same bullshit we've seen Arkansas get hit with, LSU got away with it. There's no doubt about that. But I'm not gonna go there. Like, Arkansas still did enough to get into trouble with the flags. 0 defensive adjustments once LSU figured this out. In the second quarter, if you go back to the bottom of the second quarter, LSU scored, and I think they found something on that drive. I think they found something there. I'm going to scroll up here. It was at the end of the first half where they go 3 plays for 75 yards in under a minute. The first play, Jaden Daniels, pass complete to Malik Neighbors, who, by the way, you guys got to recognize. Some of you in Discord complaining about people covering him. I don't think some of you get how good he is. That's a legit top 3 receiver taken off the draft board. He's good. A redshirt freshman is going to struggle. Hell, a fifth-year senior did struggle against him tonight. So let's realize really quick, it's not always about the deficiencies of a Razorback. Sometimes it's about the guy they're defending. Logan Diggs run for 13 yards to the Arkansas 49. Jaden Daniels pass complete to Brian Thomas for a 49-yard touchdown. 3 plays. And then after that, Arkansas responds with a field goal, and then they come out, LSU does, Oh, no, that was the end of the – I'm sorry, that was the end. That was the 3-play, 75-yard. I was reading the wrong one. My bad. Arkansas ends the half, 3-play, 6 yards. LSU comes back out, 3-play, 75 yards. They do it on their last 2 drives within 6 plays. They score 2 touchdowns. Arkansas responds with a field goal, and then they do it again, only in 9 plays, 75 yards, 4 minutes and 4 seconds. LSU takes, it's on. We figured it out by now. LSU has us pegged. They know what's going on. KJ and the offense, I thought they responded so well. 6 plays, 75 yards, 2 minutes, 29 seconds. Touchdown. LSU responds 10 plays, 75 yards. Arkansas responds 10 plays, 75 yards. I mean, this was good football by Arkansas. I mean, I'm kind of going in the opposite direction there, but this was good football by Arkansas. The offense responded. The defense was clearly gassed. 9 plays on that last drive, 72 yards. And then Damian Ramos comes on the field and kicks a 20-yard field goal. And then the last play was an interception by KJ. But they clearly had Arkansas figured out. Arkansas was a little gassed. LSU was able to do something with it. And, of course, they get the field goal. I still thought look, the defense started this game off great. I mean, they held LSU scoreless in the first quarter. They do give up 10 points in the second quarter. It's LSU. Very fast, very good offense. I thought for a minute Arkansas was cooked. I thought in the third quarter, this is over. LSU's about to blow this thing open, and they're about to cover the spread. And they didn't. Arkansas's offense, I mean, again, you got to give credit to Enos. He figured something out. He saw something like LSU did. He spotted it, and he made the proper adjustments. This loss is not on Dan Enos. We're going to go over these numbers here in just a minute. But thank you for the super chat, boys, Thomas and Terser. Appreciate you guys. Mike with the $5 super chat. Everyone said we'd lose in a blowout. I did too. We took LSU 15 rounds in Death Valley at night. That's the best offense we'll play this year. Woo damn pig. I know it's hard to do right now, but tonight, I hope it's not a one-off thing. I hope we continue to see this spread. This is a net like tonight. It's weird to say that in a loss. I know, and you don't want to hear me say that. But there's certainly positives to take away from this game, and it could end up – it'd be a bigger net positive had Arkansas won. They put themselves in position to win this game. Arkansas put themselves in position to beat a really good LSU offense, and I agree this is going to be, at the very least, probably one of the top 4 offenses in the SEC. Johnny Dobro is going to enjoy that, buddy. We're going to beat both A&M and Ole Miss as Bumbles bounce. Boy, today was wild. Colorado got absolutely smoked today. I didn't see that. I was wrong. I thought LSU was going to curb stomp Arkansas. I really did. I kind of thought, again, you go back to where there's smoke, there's fire. I mean, look at these numbers. Pull this up here really quick. Well, good grief. You look at the numbers tonight. KJ Jefferson, 21 of 31. You're not in love with 10 incompletions off 31 throws, but still, we know one interception's a junk interception. It's always hard to count those, but it's still a pick. At the end of the year, when you're looking at stats, nobody's going to care that it was a heave-ho to try and do something at the end of a ball game. 21 of 31, 289 yards, 9 yards per completion. Rashad Dubinion tonight. They actually fed their monster tonight. They actually fed the guy that had the hot hand. Rashad Dubinion, 15 carries, 78 yards. His longest run from the line of scrimmage was 15. Most of his runs were like the 7, 6, 7, 8-yard gashes. KJ, 16 of 48. He looked a little bit more like himself tonight. A little bit. Not completely, but I mean, over almost 30-something yards of offense. Not terrible. Dominic Johnson got 2 carries for 3 yards. I don't know what was up with AJ. It's just so weird how they use that guy. 3 carries, no yards. The MVP tonight, I know we want to give it to KJ. It's got to be to Peyton Hillis Jr. I mean, Luke has 6 catches, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns with a 59-yarder. He's a true freshman. He's a true freshman, and he lit it up tonight against LSU on the road. And again, one of the most hostile environments in college football. Andrew Armstrong, 6 grabs, 76 yards. How about Tyrone Broden with that beautiful catch at the back of the end zone, 3 grabs, 31 yards. I'm very impressed. Jaheim Thomas on defense, they're giving him credit for 13 tackles. That leads either side of the ball, with 0.5 on sacks, and of course, that means 0.5 on the TFL. Jaheim Thomas looked pretty good. I want to know, Christopher Paul a couple of times tonight looked out of place on defense. There was that little, what was that, like a 10-yard throw over the middle down on the Arkansas 10-yard line. No one around the middle of the field. I don't know if that was by design, but Christopher Paul, I think that's where he was supposed to be. I don't know if he was on the other side of the field, if they had him playing up closer to the line of scrimmage, and maybe he was blitzing on that drive or on that play. I don't know. There was nobody there. The middle of the field completely open, and they just walk into the end zone. The defense was definitely bend, don't break. And I kind of got that vibe a little bit last week against BYU. They're getting exposed more and more week to week. Now, again, I don't think they're going to play another we'll see about A&M. I know some people are calling them to be fraudulent. We'll see about Ole Miss. You never know. Jackson Dart. Did you guys watch that game today? Oh, yeah, Bama's defense is legit. But really, for about a quarter and a half, I was impressed, and then about halfway through the second quarter, maybe even sooner than that, they were only bringing 4 most of the time, and they couldn't win any one-on-one battles. Was not impressed with the pass rush tonight. Not at least for a good quarter, for about a good 2.5 quarters. It wasn't all bad. They certainly threw Daniels off his rhythm early on. It certainly looked like the timing between Jaden Daniels and his receivers was off. But then what did Daniels ended up doing? 20 of 29 for 320 yards, 4 touchdowns, and just 1 interception. He also had 10 carries for 36 yards. I mean, the guy kind of went off tonight. He kind of clowned the defense. I mean, I'll be real with you, but he's going to do that to a lot of people. He's going to do that to a lot of people. Now, I'm also standing by what I said. I may have gotten it wrong about LSU covering the spread. What I don't think I've gotten wrong on LSU is they are not a premier team in college football. They're a good football team. They're a good football team. They're not a top 5 football team. They're top 10, top 15, but they're not one of the premier teams up at the top. Now, of course, we got to wait and see how the year unfolds. The SEC certainly looks to me like it's maybe taking a step back. Maybe LSU could take advantage. Maybe they could sneak into the playoffs. Got to get by Georgia first. If you can win the West, more than likely that's who you're going to play in the SEC championship. I don't know if I see that happening. LSU's a good football team. Their defense is a little sus. I've been saying that for a couple of weeks. Arkansas, especially in the second half, made it look really easy on offense. Took control a little bit there, and it seemed like Arkansas was there was a shot here they could win this game, but the defense unfortunately just crumbled. I'm not blown away by the defense tonight, but we do have to consider LSU's just fast. There's so much speed, there's so much talent. I wish the front 4 was more effective later on in this game, but I'm sure LSU's probably – listen, the pass protection, it's guys, I don't know how many times he was sacked tonight, but he was pressured way too much. Kutas got beat. They had Chamblee at left tackle at one point. They finally got things under control. Devin Manuel went back to left tackle, but they've got some issues. It felt like for a little bit maybe they've got them fixed, but then it just kind of collapsed. They've got issues on the offensive line. Kennedy's butt, I mean, it's on the hot seat. I don't care who you are. He is at risk of losing his job tomorrow. He is at risk of losing his job. I'm going to tell you this right now. Do I think Sam will actually do anything? Probably not. He is at risk. Not been impressed with the penalties on the offensive line. Of course, tight ends tonight had like 4 penalties. I don't know if you guys caught that. Nathan Bax, I think, he had at least 2, and then has had 1. So they had at least 3 penalties. Again, 11 penalties for 69 yards. Not a lot of holding calls, but you had false starts. I don't know how many false starts. It's too many. Too many false starts. Let me scroll up. Did I miss a super chat? See, there we go. There's the super chat. Okay, I got Mike's. Scroll down here. Tercer says 3rd and goal in first quarter at the 1 yard line. Why no sneak again? Your guess is as good as mine. It's like there are big positives to take away from this game, and yet I'm still so frustrated. There are major problems that this team, the penalties are absurd. The penalty yardage is absurd. That's almost 200 yards of penalties in 2 weeks. You had 125 last week, and you had 70 tonight. Or 11 for 69. They've got to get these under control, man. They have got to get these under control. However, moving forward, you got to feel a little bit better. You got to certainly feel better than the way they came in, for sure. By the way, those red pants were disgusting. Those 2 fat white lines on that was disgusting. That was gross. We're going to put a poll up. Do you feel better about Arkansas moving forward this year? That's the poll. Make sure you guys like and share, by the way. If you're new here, make sure you sub. We looked good considering Rocket is out, and that's something else people need to realize. They didn't have Rocket Sanders. You missed my super chat. Hold up. No, I did not. I'm still batting 1,000 tonight. This doesn't count. Arky56 said something. I want to read his comment. Kansas is a pretty good team. I didn't miss your – I did miss it. My bad. I did. Okay, I'm still batting 1,000 because I went back and I found it, okay? That counts. This was the Super Bowl. This was the Super Bowl of moral victory, baby. But great game regardless. Yeah, I'm not calling it a moral victory. I don't know. What is the definition really of a moral victory? But all I'm saying is there are positives from this game that you can use moving forward. You've got to feel somewhat more confident about what you saw tonight, unless your standards are so insanely high. I think you ought to feel pretty good. Brian Frazier with a super chat. A lot of missed holding calls on LSU. Penalties killed us. I'm not happy with this loss at all, especially when we should have won. Well, again, Brian, the spread was 17.5. The spread was 17.5, and you almost won this game. I get it. Losing sucks. You'd rather be on the winning side, of course. Travis loves the red on red. I don't have a problem with the red on red, but the white stripes were disgusting, dude. They were so gross. You look like Temple or a arena football team. That was just gross, man. That's Bush League pants. And I know someone's going to come along and say, who cares, you lost anyway and whatever you wear. Yeah, but at least you want to look good when you lose. Listen, and I know you can't wear these at Arkansas, at LSU, but – well, I don't have it in front of me. But, the DMAC era, just wear that. Unless you're going to do the red chrome dome. Now, that's different. Heart Attack Hogs in action, says Hero Blake. What's up, Hero? How you doing, man? It's a moral victory. There are no moral victories. I'm not calling it a moral victory, or I'm not trying to. I know that's a touchy subject when you talk about, quote-unquote, moral victories. But, again, there are positives to take away from this game that hopefully this team, can get figured out. Study the film, study the tape, look at the positives, try to build off the positives, try to build some kind of foundation for the rest of the year based on what you did tonight. If they play like they did tonight, minus about half those flags or maybe just 3 or 4 of them, Arkansas is going to upset somebody along the way. And your odds all of a sudden, when you come back home from Mississippi State, you might feel a little bit better about your odds for the remainder of the season. Hey, don't read the comments with their very first super chat. Look at that. Celebrate the first chat from. What do I do? Can I share it? Yeah. They're not giving me the option to share it. What am I supposed to do? All I can do is like it. It's not letting me do anything. Razorbacks versus Razorbacks at times. What do you mean by that? Woo, pig, suey, whoop. What exactly do you mean? You mean on special teams? On punt return when you got 2 guys running into each other? God. That was embarrassing. Many positives. What What was not, well, hang on now. I got these super chats coming through. Many positives. What was not a positive was the offensive line. I agree. If it's not fixed 4 weeks in, it won't get fixed by week 12. I really thought they had a shot tonight at taking the right step forward. We say that word a lot, or that phrase a lot. Because LSU's defense is sus. It is sus. Okay, they got issues. This is what's holding them back. Daniels is a good quarterback. I don't know if he's the Heisman that everyone's trying to make him out to be, but he's a really good quarterback. They've got options. Again, one of the most talented wide receiving cores in college football, behind obviously teams like Ohio State and a couple others there, right? But LSU certainly in the mix of having a lot of really good talent, especially with one player in particular. Okay, fine. But I thought there'd be some areas where they'd be a little bit stronger tonight, and they were not. Question. This is another super chat. They're rolling in tonight. Keep them coming, baby. I read the super chats. I'm still batting 1,000. Question. Would we play Oregon closer than Prime's guys did? I say yes, we would. They got destroyed. Yeah, Colorado looks like 7-5, 8-4, but that's still incredible considering it's year one. Brian Frazier says, "Okay, now the positive. Good to see we are not terrible, but we can win out." Well, that's a hell of a switch there. Bama should be the only loss if there is one. Just my opinion. Whoa. Now that's okay. I don't know, Brian. All right, Ty. When we do something good on special teams, we always lose. Why can't they get their shit together on special teams? Hey, they didn't get a flag tonight, though, I don't think. Is that 2 games in a row they didn't get a flag? Has anybody checked up on that? Is that 2 games in a row? Trey Carter says, look, Arkansas played hard tonight. I'm proud of them. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Texas A&M has the second best wide receiver room. Yeah, A&M's got some talent. We beaten Bama this year, says Steven. Someone's going to come back and read, or someone's going to come back and watch this. Just know I'm reading comments. Don't come at me, all right? I don't know what's up with A&M today. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance. I was out. I'm still out car shopping, you guys. I'm still out trying to find a car. And because we're down to really one vehicle, today was my only shot, and I think I've got a couple of cars in mind. Hopefully Monday I'll have a new car. This is crazy. I mean, North Carolina over Pittsburgh right now, that's not crazy. 41-24. In the SEC, it was kind of nuts today. Missouri was struggling. It looks like they're going to beat Memphis, but they were struggling with Memphis, 34-27. Georgia beat UAB 41-29. South Carolina over Mississippi State, 37-30. I don't know what to make. Does anyone know what to make of South Carolina? Alabama over Ole Miss. Alabama's defense, guys, I mean, their defense is good enough. They're going to win. They probably still will finish 11-1 or 10-2. That defense is legit. 24-10 over Ole Miss. Tennessee over UTSA, 45-14. Florida over Charlotte, 22-7. And A&M beat Auburn today, 27-10. Very strange game. It's almost like what's going on at quarterback for A&M. Is Auburn, how good or bad are they really? Their offense is not really blown up. Peyton Thorne looked like pure butt cheeks today. He looked terrible. I did catch some of Max Johnson. I thought he looked pretty good. He came out and scored a couple of touchdowns, but then they kind of tapered off a little bit. They got 7 points in the fourth quarter. So, Auburn's only touchdown was in the fourth quarter. A&M, again, won that game 27-10. I don't know what to make of – I thought by now I'd have a pretty good idea of who's who. I still don't know if I do. Test talk in a Tesla. Bro, do you work at a Tesla dealer? Let's talk. Give me a deal. Come sponsor the show. Come sponsor it. We'll work something out, baby. I don't want no ridiculous car payment. That wasn't a switch tie. I thought we should have won. Okay. All right. But you said they should win out though, Brian. Were you not one of the people in Discord that was maybe not? Sanders Price, what's up, man? Hope you're doing well. I'm not even mad, Ty. 17-point dogs, true, on the road. Pittman not letting them score so we could get the ball back is baffling. Yeah, that didn't make me mad, just confused. You're out of timeouts, dude, and I think that's the question. I mean, yeah, their clock management. Why did you burn those 2 timeouts in the third quarter? They were both in the third quarter, right? I'm pretty sure it's how that worked out. Again, I'm not. You can't be mad because you lost this game and you felt like you should have won it. Sure. LSU again, 17.5-point favorites. I thought LSU would cover. I'm ecstatic that Arkansas could have won this game. I am. It is disappointing, and once again, it's like the same issues that we've been talking about for weeks are still happening, and they're keeping you from winning games twice in a row now. You cannot get out of your own way. You can't get out of your own way. The penalties are just absurd. Defense left it all out on the field, I think, for a good 2 quarters. Or 90% of the first half. Dwight McLaughlin with that pick, and then KJ turns around and throws a pick the very next play. Their inability today to do anything off the takeaway, you got to make something happen. Centennial had a return for 19 yards. My God, my phone is exploding. Cam Little, 3 for 3 tonight. Well, that's going to help the percentage. It's going to pad some stats right there. 2 for 2 on extra points. Max Fletcher. I don't know. I thought he punted more than once. ESPN saying 1 for 53 with a punt down inside the 20. I think Fletcher's going to keep his job until he screws up. And then they're not going to know what to do. Luke Hasz, again, is the truth. I mean, I'm just going to stick with it. Luke Hasz is the truth. He has got to be as involved tonight, maybe even more so. I think he was targeted 7 times. He caught 6 out of his 7 targets, I believe. Andrew Armstrong has got to be a more involved. Isaac Teslaw, 3 grabs, 31 yards. I mean, all your receivers are averaging 10 or more yards per reception. Got to get Rocket back. Like Dominion was great. AJ Green should have gotten more carries last week. Rocket is, I wonder, with a fully healthy Rocket Sanders tonight, what this game would have looked like. I mean, you're talking about an All-American, potential one of the top 3 backs taken in the draft. A big piece on your chessboard is missing. And I wonder the last 2 weeks what this could have looked like if we wouldn't be talking about a 4-0 Arkansas team that's ranked. That's a big piece, man. That is a huge piece. And they're trying to fill in that gap, and they don't know if it's Rashard Dominion. They don't know if it's AJ Green. They don't know how much to use Dominic Johnson. It's clear that, it's not like, again, you ran the ball 37 times. You had 137 yards. They finally kind of got KJ going in the run game a little bit. You average almost 4 yards a carry. That's not ideal when you've got KJ still running, but Rashard Dominion averaged over 5 yards a carry. No rushing touchdowns tonight, by the way. That doesn't feel right. Yeah, that's right, though. Zero rushing touchdowns. When's the last time that happened? Let's see here. I don't want to miss any more super chats. Our poll's up. The poll is up. If you haven't taken it yet, feel free. Do you feel better about Arkansas moving forward this year? 70% of you, based on a whole bunch of votes, 70% of you say, yes, I feel better. I feel better. I think you should. I think you should feel better. I'm not saying that Arkansas is going to win out. I'm not saying Arkansas is going to, they're going to upset Bama or whatever. But what you saw tonight was absolutely improvement. You've got A&M. We're going to break them down next week. You guys know how I roll. Friday, we're going to talk more and more about A&M throughout the week. I'm I will say this game coming into LSU, I would have told you for sure 0-2 these next two games. Now it's very much worth a pretty deep conversation. That kickoff's going to be at 11 a.m. I know, it's lame. Why not? I mean, that game's it's a neutral site. Why not at least a 3 p.m. kickoff or whatever? Then after that, you're on the road in Oxford, Mississippi. You're on the road the following weekend at Bama. These next 3 games are going to tell you a lot about your season. You come home against Mississippi State, then you're back on the road against Gainesville, and then you close out the season in Fayetteville from November 11th and on. A lot of teams are they're playing really good defense. Florida, Missouri, Alabama, a lot of that this year. And yet it feels like the SEC's taking a step backwards. Who would have thought we'd be saying that? They're playing better defense this year. But overall, as a conference, you feel like the SEC's been brought down a full peg. Hopefully there won't be a bad hangover. And this is one you worry about how much of this game does it beat you again? That is certainly something. I'm talking about. You don't want this game beating you again. How about the face mask horse collar? Wyatt Peters, are you involved in our someone asked a question about the XP and you chimed in with you don't seem like you told someone about the XP stuff. You said it's something about your ego. I'm curious what you meant by that. Ty, set second row on the 50-yard line. Wow, every LSU fan said we are their biggest rival. I mean, I don't know. Ty, I know KJ's percentage is up, but why does it feel like his throwing has taken a step back to me? Boy, he holds on to the ball sometimes, and the offensive line is not giving that guy time. The offensive line has just been I don't know, man. Again, you're not wrong when you say if you don't have it figured out by week 4, the odds of you figuring out week 12 are very slim. And, I mean, there's truth in that. I thought, though, KJ responded well. I thought once they figured out what LSU was doing on defense, it's like everything was – it's like the game slowed down for KJ as it went on. I hope they build off. That's one of those positives. I hope they build off of what they did tonight. Through the air and on the ground and on offense in total. Again, if you're blaming the offense tonight, if you're blaming Dan Enos, again, I'm not saying he called a perfect game. He called a hell of a game. LSU had 509 yards of offense. 320 through the air, 180 on the ground. Arkansas had 289 yards through the air, 137 on the ground. Again, they're finding that balance. 8 of 13 on third down. LSU was 6 of 10. Arkansas, of course, with that trick play on fourth down, it was a thing of beauty. They of course, they convert 1 for 1 on fourth. Again, the penalties, the pass blocking. I told you guys during fall camp there's a big question surrounding the tackles. I still feel like that's the case. I still feel like there's something going on with the offensive line. Defense looked flat out gassed in the second half. I agree. Tackles are still a liability. They're yeah. You know what he's saying. You're stingy with the XP. How am I stingy with the XP? I'm not stingy with anything, Brian. I give you guys all these opportunities to get XP. Bro, we did an hour and a half XP wheel spin the other night, man. What are you talking about? And then you had like 5 predictions this weekend up. You had so many opportunities. I think you're joking. I think that was a joke. I'm glad some of you guys, sounds like some of you guys got to go to the game. That's cool. I've never been to a game down there. Not quitting and folding, says Pigpen. That's also that is a big It's one thing I'll always give Sam. His teams, rarely do you ever see them just quit. 11 a.m. is cringe. Yeah, I don't know why the 11 a.m. kickoff. I don't. Never a fan. Don't care. Don't. Again, if you want me to you want to make sure I read your comment, make sure you super chat. There's a lot of comments I'm missing. Penalties, says Derek Woodson. Yeah, you're not wrong, man. But they're just gotten out of hand. It's gotten out of hand. Am I still in timeout? Oh no, you were. Come on, man. You can't. The Sam Pittman trash talk like that. Like, I get criticizing the guy. I think you went a little too far. They might quit after 4 weeks of losing. This is James Swope. They struggled last year, and I mean they still won their bowl game. I don't think they ever really quit. A&M and Arkansas is usually a close game. It is. Should have beat them last year. And I feel like we're gonna have that same conversation about it being a close game. Hopefully, it's in your favor this time. Oh, okay. Wyatt says, "Give me all the XP." Okay. Oh, it was a joke. All right, Brian. Okay, I thought it was. Okay. My 8-month-old almost called the Hogs and was so excited when we got that trick play. It was pretty special. Oh my God, dude! Do y'all hear my phone? Holy crap! That's a lot of text messages. All right. So far on our poll, do you feel better about Arkansas moving forward this year? 69% of you were still way up. 69% of you are saying, yeah, I feel better. Rocket back next week. We're going to find out probably Saturday would be my guess. Trash talking a man in his 60s for his appearance because of a loss is very listen, I'm not and he apologized. Okay, to be fair, he did apologize. Johnny Dobro did apologize. Okay, but again, like, if you're going to take shots at someone's physical appearance, listen, you guys could burn me. I really don't care. But like, Sam, come on, man. Say what you want. You can be upset about Sam, about some of the coaching decisions. You can be upset about the use of timeouts and running out of timeouts, not having any time to work with on that final drive. That's fine. You can criticize some of the decision making and the use of personnel, but don't take shots at the guy. Come on, not like that. If you want to call him a bad coach, whatever. And I don't think he's a bad coach. I think he's proven he's laid a great foundation at the University of Arkansas. It's just time to get this thing figured out, because again, you're losing these close games because of bonehead mistakes, and eventually that does fall on coaching. They certainly, I say they because it's a whole staff, and it is Sam. It's his staff after all. You have to criticize, right? I mean, I hope that you do. I don't want you tagging anybody. Of course, you can't tag Sam. Don't tag people, but it's certainly, there's nothing wrong with voicing your criticism of what's happening on social media. And if anyone tells you to stop, no. Coach P isn't a bad coach. He just needs more experience. Well, I don't know if it's that. I mean, the guy's been involved in coaching for 30-plus years. He's only been a head coach, fair enough, for 4 years. But, again, tonight and last week, some of the losses last year, some of the decisions against Kent State, like a lot of this stuff, it's so avoidable, and yet they keep happening. Wyatt, I'm doing fine, my man. Over 1 million views. I'm good. Thank you, though. Sam is getting things ready to find a Musselman. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, so you're saying Sam is laying the foundation. I've heard a lot of people compare him to, like, the Mike Anderson hire in some ways. Mike certainly did underachieve. Mike Anderson certainly underachieved. That is true. But he did have success there in the regular season. He was here for 8 years. What he did at Mizzou was incredible. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it done here. But he laid a great foundation. Because of him, you had the renovations to Bud Walton. You had the practice facility built. Because he rejuvenated Arkansas basketball, unfortunately, he couldn't do anything with it. And then you went out and found yourself and Eric Musselman and took Arkansas back, back to the promised land, back to what things were when I was a kid. Maybe Sam Pittman, I don't want to say he's the Danny Ford hire that eventually brought in Houston Nutt. I don't want to say that, but I did say when they hired him, and some of you guys agreed, some of you didn't, I thought he was an in-between hire. I thought it was a hell of a dice roll. But I'm not saying you need to make a coaching change right now. You got to give him the opportunity to fix the issues, right? Sam needs to go down to Hot Springs and just retire. I'm not pushing him to retire. I think he's done a great job of getting this turned around because of where you were at the 3 previous years. You got to give him time to fix it this year. You don't fire him because of a close loss to LSU. You don't push for him to retire after a close loss to LSU. You got to let him figure this thing out. It's clear that they did some things this week for sure. They did some things this week, and you saw the outcome. But these little bonehead mistakes along the way, they still keep happening. Can we please find a must then? We are the worst penalized team in the SEC for the last 3 years. That's coaching. I don't know where they were at last year in penalties. I don't think they were super high last year in penalties. Maybe I'm wrong. This year's been bad. Yeah, that is coaching. I don't disagree. As a 57-year-old Hogs fanatic, I've seen decades worth of moral victories. We're back in the middle of the road, Kentucky, South Carolina, Auburn, Mississippi State territory. I guess that's us. I'm 40, Brett, and you've got 17 years on me, but I certainly believe that it can be done here. I do believe that they can be more competitive in this league. I mean, Houston Nutt showed that a couple of times. Bobby Petrino, and we go back to that a lot, but 2010, 2011, it was a very, obviously he was a well-recognized name. And I'm not saying you got a Bobby Petrino out there, to go get. I don't know if that guy's out there, but I don't know if there is a Bobby Petrino out there for Arkansas. Bobby Petrino himself, I don't think is the Bobby Petrino from that era. I don't. I think that Bobby Petrino, I don't know. A piece of him I think died after 2012. We've never had sustained success. I mean, I guess that depends on your sustained. I agree. They've struggled at a higher level, right, to win 9-10 games a year. That has been a struggle, and I agree with that. It's not an easy job. I mean, it's just not, man. You're at a huge geographical disadvantage. Recruiting the state of Arkansas is not enough to win. You can't say that about a lot of other jobs. You don't have to leave the state of Georgia. And if you do, guess what? You got Alabama and then you have Florida to your south. You got the Virginias, the Carolinas. You've got incredible reach. Kind of makes you wonder how the hell, South Carolina, why can't they get their shit together? You're right on the outside edge of the greatest recruiting that high school football has to offer. Texas, right? Texas doesn't have to leave Texas, but they kind of eat up all the talent there. And then Oklahoma, A&M. I love Sam, but he's peaked. Again, I love Sam. Cody Kennedy should not have a job tomorrow. Cody Kennedy, the penalties keep happening. The offensive line keeps getting beat. They continue to be one of the worst parts of this entire team and have been now really for 3 straight weeks. Well, I mean, I guess you count 4 if you look at the run game week 1. You got dominated by who? Western Cara who? You're going to tell me you couldn't push those guys around a little bit better and establish the run game? Oh, well, they were selling out, stacking the box. So, and And I don't know. I don't know what to tell you about Kennedy. I don't know. I'm not going to call for anyone's job, but I don't understand what the issue's been up front. It shouldn't be this bad, and it is atrocious. It is horrible, and there's no excusing it. I will say, however, they've now back-to-back weeks. They have shown they can run the football. But the pass blocking, again, 2 weeks in a row, it's just been abysmal. Addison Brooks says if it makes y'all, we take a crack at LSU. Oh, deleted. We have one of the best offensive line coaches in the game as a head coach. You're not wrong. Todd Cooper says Kennedy is toast. I don't know how they regress as much as they have. And we saw a little bit of this last year. Some of the complaints last year was the pass blocking. Now it's like the whole thing. Again, back-to-back weeks, they've done a pretty good job of reestablishing themselves up front. Like, they've certainly tried some things here and there, and they were able to run the ball effectively, especially in the later half of the game. The pass blocking was abysmal. The penalties are bad. It just, I don't know. Like, I'll say this, if we wake up tomorrow and find out Kennedy's gone, it wouldn't shock me. Something needs to happen there. Sam needs to be completely involved with the offensive line. Completely involved. Just checked. We're the only SEC team with 10 or more penalties in every game for the last 3 years. I love Sam, but we're at a crossroads. I don't know how many penalties they had last year, but I don't recall them being that bad last year with the flags. Not this bad. I don't know, y'all. I don't know y'all hating on offensive line, but tonight I give them a solid B+. What'd I tell you about your – Did you watch the game, Mike? What are you talking about? The pass blocking was horrendous, dude. Eagle. And this oh, man. What? Dude, watch the game. Take the hog blinders off, my guy. You're my boy, but sometimes your hog takes are so crazy. What are you talking about? They were horrible. The pass blocking was abysmal. The penalties were embarrassing. Come on. The O-line cost you a game. You can bruh me all you want, bruh. Bruh me all you want, but it was bad. The pass blocking alone is a D-. KJ has milliseconds to get rid of the ball. Crypto. I think he's clowning us. I think he's clowning us. Offensive line did not cost us tonight. It certainly played a role, Mike. And a B+ is wild. I'll just say that. That's one of the best D-lines. No, it's not. Their defense has not been good. If you think that's one of the best D-lines, they have talent, but so does 60% of the SEC. They have talent. That doesn't mean a damn thing. They have been punked this year. LSU has not been very good on defense. They're getting ran over. Grambling had 160 yards rushing. Yeah, no, it's bad. The false starts killed them. What do you think of Travis Williams being hired as our next head coach? No, I mean, if you're desperate and you whiff on all your options, then you start looking inward. But no, they got to look around. That would not be a hire that fans would be super excited about. I mean, I guess it would depend on like his coordinator hires, if he could go after some big names, bring some people here that have a proven track record, Is Ed Reed still coaching? I don't know. I don't know. You think so? Josh Rubble 75 thinks LSU's the second best team in the SEC. I don't know if they're that. I mean, they got absolutely blasted by Florida State. I mean, they beat Mississippi State. Mississippi State's obviously down this year, and they only beat Arkansas by 3 at home. I don't know if they're the second best team in the SEC or not. I don't know about that. Eagle defending the line every chance he gets. Well, and he also said the defensive line in Discord, man, like they look gassed to me. They look gassed to me half the second quarter and like all of the second half. They were getting off the line really slow. I mean, I thought in the second half the defensive line just looked not good. They couldn't get pressure unless they brought somebody. Yeah, I don't want to drink. Why would anybody would drink? Oh, come on now. All right, that's reaching. Why the hell would you want Drinkwitz here? No way. No. Drink worse than Pittman. Yeah. Yeah. They Arkansas certainly has some things they still need to work on. I think that's the most obvious thing in the world, but I mean, his recruiting is insane. Yeah, so is their basketball. Someone told me they passed a law in Missouri, something to do with recruiting or about NIL. If I get that link, I'll share it in Discord. No, you did not, Mike. Mike, you disagreed when I said about the defensive line. You thought they were doing fine. I haven't been drinking tonight. I swear that was you. Yeah, hell no, Sam is way better. I don't know if Sam's way better necessarily, but he is I think he's better. I do agree that he's better. The offense was only good for a quarter and a half. Yeah, they figured it out in the second half. I mean, there's no doubt. The offense figured it out in the second half. They started rolling. KJ started feeling himself. It was better. It was better in the second half, and that's all that matters. I'm glad that they found much of anything on offense. I mean, you got to be excited about that, right? Like, I mean, they figured out how to wear LSU down and then expose them. That is in and of itself impressive. What is disturbing is the offensive line looked like cheeks, couldn't pass block, couldn't let KJ. KJ doesn't have time to go through his reads. You had to settle for more high percentage throws, and that's fine. I love those check down throws. I like the throw to DeBinion out in the flats. I don't remember what down that was. It was a really good call. LSU was, making an attempt at KJ, and offensive line on that particular play did a good job picking up the blitz. KJ found DeBinion on that flat read, and DeBinion did the rest with it, made a pretty big play. There were moments where, again, the offense – in the second half, it looked reminiscent of, when Kendall Briles was on fire. When his offense was in that rhythm, I mean, it felt reminiscent of that. And I will say this. In every single every game except Kent State, you have scored 30 points. I mean, that's, again, that Kent State game, we knew right then and there, boy, there's something not going on here. There's something not right. But every game, you've scored at least 30 points. I think their points per game is probably going to come down to, 33 or something. But I'm definitely not putting today on the offense. The offensive line, problematic, yes. The play calling, though, the defense just collapsed. They were gassed, and it was game over. I mean, it was game over. It was like LSU could just come out and do whatever they wanted. Is that going to be the same thing? Are we going to have these same mental errors against A&M? Because you're going to lose that game if you do. You're going to lose that game if you can't pull your head out of your ass, if you can't get out of your own way. It's going to be a problem. Rhett Lashley is the obvious choice, says Addison. I think they lost today, didn't they? I only say Rhett. I'm not saying I'm in favor of that hire. It just feels like because of his ties to the university, because of his Springdale ties, it does seem like the most logical move that they would look into Rhett Lashley if down the road they do fire Pittman. Freddie Krueger says too many penalties. Ain't that the truth? Get Jimmy Johnson. Brian, come on, man. 200 plus, to almost 220 votes asking you guys, do you feel better about Arkansas moving forward this year? 68% of you say yes. 32% of you say no. Any word on post-game presser? Hope Biddy made it out okay. He got locked in the stadium last week. I was hoping I could make practice this week and ask him about that. Hire Tebow. There you go. All right. Okay, that's going to do it. Mixed emotions tonight. Frustrating, the most common emotion, I think. I think Arkansas's tired of these tiny little, well, I shouldn't say tiny, but they're tired of the same things keeping them back, holding them back. Razorback fans tired of it. I get it. It certainly feels like, once again, you couldn't get out of your own way. Arkansas could not get out of their own way. It's frustrating to watch. At the end of the day, it just is what it is. Not much you can do about it. You hope they can pick up the pieces, figure it out, and get a win against A&M. I do agree with the majority here, almost 70%, who say they feel better moving forward. So, yeah. You know, we'll talk about it next week, man. On Monday. Ty, dumb question, but do you think there was ever really a chance for us to hire Coach Sanders? Yeah, I don't want to get into all that. I mean, I hear you. I know that Sanders has been a hot topic, but it's we could talk about that in Discord or something. But yeah, all right, we'll reconvene on Monday. Congrats to everyone who won some XP in Discord. I'll hand that XP out either tonight or tomorrow. I'll probably do it tonight. I got a little bit of time. It's only 10:35, so. But I do appreciate you guys. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hit the like button on your way out. I appreciate all the super chats, Patreon supporters, and, of course, the sponsors. You guys help make this thing go, and I do appreciate it. Again, I know it's a frustrating night. We don't always agree. Some wild things have been said tonight. But you know what? It's just I wouldn't expect it any other way after a game like that. And listen, some of you guys made some really good points tonight. Keep it together. We'll talk about it next week. Okay. All right. I'll see you guys on Monday. Enjoy your Sunday.